Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll discuss how I finally received my migraine diagnosis and the beginning of my treatment for that. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. When I finally decided to see a doctor about my migraines, I had already been having them for most of my life. It's something that you need to discuss with people so that they know what's going on with you, and they know to leave you alone. When I get migraines, I get very, very closed up inside of myself, and I need to focus on, if I'm at work, I need to focus on what I'm doing, like right in front of me, because any kind of distraction will just make my migraines worse. So everybody knew that I got them and they knew to leave me alone. And a few of my coworkers also got migraines, and one in particular, she had started to talk to me about her diagnosis and the doctor that she was seeing and how happy she was with her treatment. I know that a lot of people out there have probably tried to get treatment for their migraines and have failed. This is one area where being open about it was really, really beneficial. Okay, so after I found out that my coworker had been satisfied with her treatment and with her doctor, I had looked him up, and he was pretty easy to find. He was local. He was at a neurology center nearby, but you know, I put it off. I was like, I'll go. I'll do it eventually. I will go. I will do this. But I kept putting it off. There came a point where I was getting migraines daily. I probably didn't go more than a day or two at that time without having some sort of pain going on, and the severity and frequency had increased so much that I decided it was time. So one day I woke up and I had a particularly bad migraine. I wasn't feeling well at all. I felt sick in my stomach. I felt sick in my head. I was very, very frustrated because it had been going on so long, and the over-the-counter painkillers that I was usually taking, they just upset my stomach, and they made me jittery because of the caffeine, and they didn't do anything for the pain. So all they did was just intensify what was going on by making the nausea worse and making my nerves more frazzled. So I got really frustrated, and I finally decided to call up this doctor. So when I call, they ask when I'd like to be seen, and I said, well, you know, I've got a migraine right now, and I've had them going on for almost every day this week. As soon as possible would be great. And to my surprise, she said, okay, well, it looks like he can fit you in this afternoon in about an hour. And I was shocked. I was amazed that I was going to be able to see somebody about my migraines who knew what I was going to be talking about and who was going to be able to help me that day. So I said, heck yes, let's do it. So I go to the appointment and I start talking to the doctor. There are a lot of forms that you have to fill out. There's a lot of questionnaires. It asks about severity, how often your migraines come, how you'd rate them on the 1 to 10 pain scale. I think people who get migraines probably don't have the same kind of pain scale that most people do. So yeah, I had some pretty bad ones, and I was getting them pretty frequently, and they were all lasting more than 4 hours. He looks over all of my paperwork, and immediately I was diagnosed with chronic migraine. When you've got a condition that they call chronic, it basically just means that more than half of your time is spent dealing with that ailment. So more than 50% of my life I had migraines, and it sucked. So that day, I received a medication. I think he gave me an injection that day to help with the pain that I was experiencing at that moment. And by the time I left his office, it did feel better, and we discussed some treatment options. Most insurances will make you go through certain steps before they'll allow you to get to more beneficial treatments. Botox is one of those that you have to try other treatments before they'll allow you to take it. So we had to start with step one, and step one was an anti-seizure medication called Topamax. A lot of people start their migraine treatment with a similar option. So the Topamax was going to be my preventative, which meant I was going to have to take it every day. The dosage starts out a little bit smaller, and it gradually increases until you get up to the point where your doctor feels you're at the right level of medication. So I started on Topamax to control them, and I got sumatriptan right away as my abortive medication. Most people who have migraines take triptans unless they're allergic to them. So I was on sumatriptan at that point, and I was on the Topamax. Topamax has some side effects that can be very negative, and it has some side effects that are actually kind of beneficial to some people. When I started the medication, I started losing weight right away. I had weight to lose, which was a good thing. So I started losing weight, and I thought that was fine. Some people, when they start to lose the weight, they don't stop losing weight. I didn't change my diet at all. I was still eating everything the same that I was before. So I wasn't actively trying to lose weight. It was just melting off. I lost about 20 pounds and then it stopped. So if it had continued much further, if I had lost another 5 or 10 pounds at that point, I might have started to get concerned, but I was still within a healthy weight for my height. So I was like, yay, weight loss. That was a good thing. Topamax can also make carbonated beverages taste really, really bad. If you love your soda, that is a bad thing, I guess, but I do love my soda, but I took that as a good thing because I stopped drinking it. Soda's not good for you. It's got so much salt in it, so much sugar, artificial colors, artificial flavor. It's not good for you. So, okay, no soda, no pop, whatever. To me, the flavor was kind of like glue. I know that sounds weird to everybody, but I've got a pretty good memory, and I was a kid once. I am sure I tasted glue on my fingers as a kid, so I know what glue tastes like, and that's what soda tasted like to me, but it wasn't a big deal. I stopped drinking soda. And for the first month that I was on the medication, I did really, really good. I lost weight. I didn't have any migraines for a month, but then I got sick. I had a chest cold, and it was making me cough so bad that my rib cage was hurting, so I had to take medication to make that stop. But taking medication leads to rebound headaches, so I started having rebound headaches again, and it wouldn't stop, and the Topamax wasn't controlling my migraines anymore, so I was really, really frustrated. I couldn't get back to that point where I wasn't getting them. One of the bad things that I experienced on the Topamax was anxiety. It doesn't cause anxiety, but one of the lesser known side effects is that if you have anxiety, it can increase anxiety. So I got to a point where being at work was getting really, really hard. I started noticing that I was a bit more OCD about stuff. I'm really, really particular about the way stuff gets done in my department. But I couldn't look at something getting done wrong and walk away from it. I was on everybody's cases all the time, and you know, it was stressing me out not seeing my apples stacked right. And when kids would come into the store and start crying, I'd start, oh my goodness, I need to get out of here. So that was the bad side effect that I experienced from Topamax. And with the level of anxiety that I had, the doctor decided to discontinue that treatment. So I was going to have to go through a withdrawal from the Topamax while I tried to adjust to a new medication. I couldn't just stop taking it cold turkey because it's not healthy to do that. You can have really bad withdrawal symptoms. So I guess I was lucky that I only had withdrawal headaches and the fatigue and just general kind of migraine symptoms. I didn't get anything worse than that. Stopping it didn't make me have seizures or anything like that. So the withdrawal from the Topamax was not a good time at all. I was not feeling like myself. I felt sick all the time. I was able to go to work and do what I had to do, but other than getting up and going to work, I pretty much just spent the whole time in bed. I was doing some traveling at the time. I was doing some training because my company merged with another grocery chain and we had to train them how to use our systems. So I got to do some traveling and I got to stay in hotels and meet new people and see new parts of the state that I live in. But it wasn't a good time for me. I should have been able to have a really, really good time, go out with these people, have nice meals with them and barbecue by the pool. They were doing that kind of stuff all the time, but all I really wanted to do was sleep when I wasn't at work because I felt so awful all the time. So that was coming off of the Topamax, and at the same time my doctor was starting me on an antidepressant because antidepressants are another one of the medications that are frequently used to treat migraines. So I started taking venlafaxine. That's just the generic for Effexor. After a while on that medication, I started to feel more like myself. I started relaxing a little bit more, and my body got back to the point, I guess, where I was before I started the Topamax. The antidepressant did not do anything to help me with the migraines at all. It did help with my anxiety. So my doctor decided to keep me on the venlafaxine, and yeah, I've been taking that one since then. It's probably been about 2 years at least since I started taking that. It does help control my anxiety. I have a lot less breakdowns now, but I'm not sure that it's the right medication for what I feel. I haven't actually seen a psychologist or psychiatrist at all. That is something that I really, really need to do, just because having migraines is, it's very wearing. It beats you up constantly and regularly, and it's so unpredictable. You don't know if you're going to wake up in pain tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to be able to, go to your brother's wedding without having a migraine, which really, really sucks. For me, I don't drink. I very, very, very occasionally have a beer or two, and if I go out to party with people, I have to control myself. A very, very small amount of alcohol can set off migraines in me, which it kind of sucks, but also at the same time, I'm going to be the designated driver. I don't have to drink to enjoy myself, so, there's that. But yeah, anyway, I do need to go see a psychologist or psychiatrist to talk about my anxiety. I am still on the antidepressant, but I've had some withdrawals from it. I missed some doses, and that is a really, really bad experience. I think that will be my next informative video that I film. I'm going to try and do something else in between, because I know a lot of stuff is too much dramatic information can wear you down. Next week, I think I'm gonna go to some thrift stores. I'm gonna go look around and see if I can find any mirrors and just look for some weird stuff, and I'll take you guys along with me. So we'll have some fun on my next video. We'll go thrifting and we'll just relax a little bit. So yeah, until my next video, take care everybody. Bye-bye.